Let's see why on Brian Coach. Let's watch this fight. This looked like it was a good one. Let's go back. Okay. So we're gonna slow this down. This might be our best one today. Let's see. One direction key, moving, aim, stand still, shoot. That's what we want. That's what we want. That's what we're looking for. Beautiful. Okay? That's what we're looking for. Okay? Now, the next piece for you as well is I want you to turn on your shooting error so you can see if you're moving and shooting. This will keep you more honest. When you have this graph open, the yellow line is going to be signifying that you're standing still and shooting. Okay? The blue line is going to signify that you're moving and shooting. We want all yellow lines. Okay? It helps so much when you're reviewing. Okay? The other thing you can do is you can get on GitHub. Okay? GitHub right here, you can get this thing. This is the overlay. You can get the mouse key overlay. I'll give you the link for this. You can literally just download it. It's awesome. GitHub overlay. So when you're looking at your VODs afterwards, you can tell right away if you are moving and shooting or you are pressing multiple direction keys at one time. These are all really cool things to start adding in to your VODs when you're reviewing yourself. Hello, my name is Worthy, a professional Valorant coach. If you're looking to climb the ranks and improve your overall gameplay, you definitely want to leave a like and a sub. Also, if you comment your Discord name in the comment section below, once per month, I choose one lucky commenter to win a free one-on-one session. Best of luck and enjoy the video. Pick one angle and peek it. Don't worry if you get shot in the back. It's not a big deal, right? No one really cares if you're a deathmatch champion. No one gives a shit, right? You're running into multiple direction keys here. That was a good peek. That was better. It could have been cleaner because you peeked really close to the wall, but that was one direction key. And you can see how that already you hit shots from doing that. You should have moved here as soon as you miss this first burst. So as soon as you miss a burst, I want you to move to the right or move to the left and then repeat the 4 steps again. Move, aim, stand still, shoot. Move, aim, stand still, shoot. Okay? Diagonal peek into an angle that you know this person's in. Okay? See, this wasn't bad. Let's break down why it didn't work. First of all, he caught you off guard. Let's break down why this didn't work. Remember, move, aim, stand still, shoot. So we're moving. You don't stand still, you don't aim, so you're moving, no aim, standing still. So what happened was you moved, you shot. Now you stand still, and then you aim. So you went move, shot, aim, stand still. Or shot and aim. So it was move, stand still, shoot, and aim. You're all over the place. 100% you gotta be more patient. Remember that this is an environment where you're trying to practice a skill. I would rather you hit all 4 of those steps consistently than you just speeding through these fights and getting, you know, shot regardless, right? I would rather you hit step 1 and step 2 and get shot in the face slowly than you going 1, 4, 3, 2, 3, well, you know, all over the place, across your place, right? Okay, so why did this fight go decently well? Let's see. So you move, you stand still, you aim, you miss, you're still not aimed, you're shooting before you aim. Okay, so you shoot, aim. So it went better because 2 of the steps were kind of good. The moving was good. The standing still can work. The aim and the shoot can work, but it's not as efficient as it could be if you do the 1 to 4 steps. Okay. So you can see how we're all over the place right now, right? All over the place. So what you need to do is don't do deathmatch yet because there's too much pressure for you right now. I want you to do it against bots that are standing still. You aim, you stand still, you shoot. So you're still moving until your crosshair is on them, okay? Once they're on them, you're now okay to stand still and shoot. You can see this is happening over and over and over again. So you haven't leveled up from the range yet. You need to go back to the range and do this 10,000 times until it's so natural. And as soon as it starts breaking the habit again because of panic or emotions when you're playing deathmatch, you gotta go back into the range again and keep doing it until it is so dead center on you, like you never forget it. It's just like so natural. No matter what happens, you just naturally do it without thinking about it. And then what happens is, if you can get past the deathmatch, where you've done everything consistently over and over again, you have now earned the right to play ranked. Crosshair placement. You're flicking around like now. You're flicking around right now like you're trying to frag versus you trying to practice. Okay, like you would never peek B long like this. You're so concerned about someone flicking you from behind, and I think you're focused so much on your KDA right now that you're getting limited practice peeking this angle, for example. Like you're not getting good value here. You're playing deathmatch as opposed to practicing. You're peeking all these angles right now with crosshair placement, not effective, and you're also peeking it in diagonal, right? Movement here, movement issue. At least clear these with an 80 strafe and then move forward if you have to. Then move forward and then you do L-shaped peaks, right? Diagonal peek into the thread angle. Didn't even peek it properly. Diagonal peaks, diagonal peaks, diagonal peaks. Okay, you're shooting errors all over the place because you're still in diagonal peaks. A lot of the times you're not even sitting still when you're shooting. Your recoil's all over the place. Okay, so instead of running into these angles, pick an angle and strafe into it. Crosshair placement. Crosshair placement. Like look at this. Look at the crosshair placement. Every second that you're in the deathmatch is used for productive practice, right? You load in here, the first thing you do is stare up into this wall. Where's your first fight? Right here. Okay? No crosshair placement. You're looking at this wall, there's another fight here. No crosshair placement. You're looking into this wall. No fight here. You're lucky. No crosshair placement. All of these things you're now having to flick to, right? Where should it be in that peak? In the peak before? The peak before you would have had to flick regardless because you're going into multiple thread angles. Like this one right here. This crosshair placement should have been here because you're preparing for that fight. And then if this person peeks you, you have to adjust to him. It is what it is. You're now in a, what I call a kill zone. Okay? Did I just answer it? Okay, perfect. Okay. So yeah, so every second in deathmatch is productive. You just peeked into 500 different angles and you didn't even choose one. Those are better peaks. Okay, so see, here's what I want you to do when you're peeking things. You just ran out in a diagonal and exposed yourself to all these angles. Instead of that, let's back it up just a little bit. I want you to prime your peak. I've talked about this in TikToks. Instead of this, I want you to move forward. So let's say you stand still here, move forward, aim to where you think this person's going to be, and then you strafe out into it with one direction key to the left. So you take half a second before you peek, swing out into it. Okay? Instead of just running right into a million angles. Does that make sense? Tens does this all the time. He primes his peak. Before he's about to peek into something, peeks out into it by pausing and then peeking out into it just before he goes into it. Again, I don't care what your KDA is. When I'm playing deathmatch, I'm practicing these movements. I'm practicing all of these little movements. I fix my consistency issues. Some days I click everyone's heads. Other days I can't hit a barn. You're a human being, right, Adonis? Here's the thing about being human. You're not going to be 100% consistent all the time. Your aim changes, right? You're not perfect. All right, no one is perfect. So the key is that you want to make your bad days your C games or C level games, right? And your C level game should be, even in terms of like quality games, let's say you have A, B, C, D, E games, right? E games is like nothing. You're broadside of the barn, okay? Your key for consistency is bringing your E games to like 0%, like it never ever happens. Oh, perfect. This is great, Rodding. You can take a look at this. You want that to like never ever happen, okay? So you want to be just playing at the C game. If you're in a state or a day where you're at an E game, you're not feeling good, you should be focusing on practicing something, okay? So that's where you go into a deathmatch, practicing specific like fights. Don't play ranked that day. There's no sense in playing ranked that day because you're not even in a state where you probably can learn properly when you're in your E game. You can't focus, you know, maybe your hands are completely shaky, like physically you just cannot play. Maybe you have a headache, like anything along those lines. E game is the worst state for you. So you should never be playing in an E game. You should just be practicing purely, like go into a range, practice something, put some music on, be monotonous, do something, train something fundamental, something like singular that you can just work on and be good about. Because at the end of the day too, that's your mental, right? You want to walk out of playing Valorant with your head held high, like something positive from it. So if you can't generate something positive from it, do not play rank on that particular day. Now, if you can bring yourself up to C game where E games rarely ever happen, that C game should be enough to be able to carry you through. And that's where those games you might not be hitting all the shots in the world, but you can set someone else up for success. I have those games all the time because I'm not playing consistently right now. So that would be what I would look at. And now the next piece is, and you can generate those C games more by you practicing on fundamentals. So I'd be focusing on that more. Now, the next piece about consistency is about how many hours you've played ultimately. Everyone's definition of consistency is different. Some people compare their consistency to a pro, and then they have this unrealistic expectation of how they should be playing when they compare themselves to certain players or people on the scoreboard and all that good stuff. When in reality, if you look at the situation, you probably have like 300 hours of comp games, whatever, and a pro player, if you're comparing to that person, has tens of thousands of hours. That's just not even fair at that point. I don't care how many productive hours you got. Like, if they're outplaying you, they're playing way more games than you, then it's an unrealistic expectation for you to be consistent in those situations. So controlling your expectations and not confusing your preferences is an important piece, on top of choosing to practice and train something when you shouldn't really be playing a game. Those would be the things I'd look at for you.